My name is Antoinette Kiner. I am the owner and operator at Medusa's Lock Oasis. My first memory of hair would probably be my own hair. I remember being maybe 8 to 10 years old with a Jerry curl, honey, and I was doing different styles, and it was like, what is she doing? Let this 8-year-old child, what is she doing? I would comb it up into a box. Growing up in the 80s, I thought it was dope, so I would do all these different little banana clips, and that would be my first memory of hair, doing my own and getting into it, really getting into it. So when I lived in New Mexico, the culture shock thing, there was no one doing our hair. So 4 people in my family, we started locks, and I was their loctician because there was no one else. We used a lot of YouTube, and we got through until we moved here. At that point, it still wasn't a professional thing, or even me thinking it could be a job, a career, a business. I thought nothing of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was dope. We're doing something, and people would stop us in the street like, what are y'all doing? What is this hair? So I've always thought it was dope, but it still wasn't a reality of being a business at that point. It was just dope hair. I started doing people's hair in my house. That didn't work out because my husband would come home from work and there's 3, 4 people sitting, and he would be like, can I talk to you for a minute? What is this? So that didn't last long at all. I met a young lady and I thought she was really dope. She was doing locks here in the city, pretty popular in the city. And I was like, I'm gonna connect with her. I was still working corporate America, had no idea how it was gonna come together. But I was like, she's dope, I wanna work with her. So she ended up doing a photo shoot and she needed kids. Well, my daughter had locks. So I entered my daughter in her photo shoot and we kind of clicked from there. Maybe a year later, she put up an application. Hey, I'm hiring for locticians. I know how to do locks. I'm gonna apply. I applied, thought nothing of it, and she called me. I was afraid to let go of corporate America, in all honesty, because that's the only way I knew how to make money. You go to work, you punch a clock, you get your money, you go home. And I was moonlighting with her, and I would go to work. When I was at work, I would cry on my way to work because I hated it that bad. And it's like, man, I'm going to do hair, I ain't doing this. And slowly but surely, I would just make it my business to spend more time at the salon. And she would say, ain't you supposed to be at work today? I called in, I'm doing hair today. And slowly it just transitioned. The clientele started to pick up and I was able to walk away from it. And I worked with her for maybe 3 years. After that, I said, you know what? You can't really be the boss in somebody else's house. So you back off and you do your own thing. There wasn't a fear of, could I do it? I knew I could do it. You know, I knew I could do the styles. The creative thing was there. I could do that. My fear came from, I have kids. You know, I have a family. I'm used to getting a check every 2 weeks. I'm not really used to maybe they'll come, maybe they'll call, maybe they won't, you know. So that was the fear of it. But once you got to going with it and them clients started coming, there was no fear about it whatsoever. I'm doing this, and I did it. I would say the biggest challenge, and it's still a challenge, is just balancing business and family life. You know, it's a challenge. When I'm here, I can be here for 4 days, and I'm straight up and down business. My husband is like, yo, you didn't call me today. I was in the midst of it, you know, so it's that balancing, knowing when to not take just that one more client, because I've already told my family I'll be here at 6, and here it is, 5:45. So just kind of balancing it out. All the money, I ain't got to get all the money today. I could flush it out a little bit, so just finding that balance. I can come here and I enjoy what I do. I love it. I can do it all day and talk junk all day, and it's a beautiful world. But just sticking to the no. I work Thursday through Sunday, no more, no less, and just sticking it out. I have people that'll say, well, I'll pay you an extra this if you come on a Tuesday, and then my mine starts going. It's like, yeah, I could use that. Just sticking to the schedule, man. You'll figure that out. Just stick to the schedule and have some structure about it. Me, I had to learn structure on my own, and realizing that all the corporate jobs I had, those were training grounds for structure. Punch this clock on time, get here on time. So I appreciate that, but it's just sticking to the structure. Sticking to the structure, because money will have you everywhere. Instagram will have you everywhere. Stick to the structure. I have a really cool support system. I had to recognize that people that are a genuine support system, they usually don't come with a shirt that says, hey, I'm here to support you. They'll come and they'll have these tidbits of information, this little bit of, why don't you try this? And not realizing that it came together as a solid force of people that's really looking out for me, my best interest. My family, they don't realize it, but they're a support system. Like, they work for me, but they don't get paid. So it just falls together. My sisters, my husband, my daughter, she's upstairs washing hair now. They just come together for me, and I appreciate it. All for the greater good. I had another income. You know, my husband was there, and he would tell me, just go. Just go. But I felt like, nah, you don't know what that's like. You're telling me to go, but you're used to me having to check every 2 weeks, and I didn't want the crumble down that came with, oh, now we're struggling. Pressure breaks the pipeline. So that was my thought. Luckily, I had that, and he was able to cover things until I was able to get the clientele up and rolling. So I really didn't give myself a chance to save. I didn't. It was just a matter of, all right, it's 2 weeks, I got to check. In 2 weeks, I need to have this same amount of money or greater, and it worked out. It's funny how everybody believes in God, but nobody pushes it. Like, why are you thinking he's so simple? Just push it. It's nothing compared to what he can do. Push it and try. And it worked. It worked. Eventually, within some time, I will be opening a salon. It is truly a family thing. My husband is in barber school right now. My daughter is helping against her will some days, but she is helping. Just expanding and building something for my kids to lean back on. Just building. And my family, I have nieces, they can braid their butts off. Come on with it. So just expanding for my family, creating a space for my family to work and be able to sustain, not as a part B or a part-time, but sustain. No one notices the legacy because they're in it, you know. Every day that my daughter comes with me, and me knowing that I can pay her. She ain't got to go ask for a job. She ain't got to go sit and answer these ridiculous questions. I can pay her, and I love that. I live for it, I really do. As long as I'm alive, I should never have to ask nobody for a job. The best part would be the freedom to just be creative, you know, not to be restricted by any particular guidelines of said company, no script. There's no cord jacking me into something where I have to sit for 8 hours and repeat the same thing. I can have a genuine conversation with everybody I come in contact with. Just the freedom. I can paint the walls if I felt like it, and just that breath of fresh air is enough, you know. The worst part, wearing so many hats, or learning how to pass the hats off to people when I have a vision of this baby in my head and this ain't your kid, so I don't expect you to see it the same way. Being able to pass those hats off is probably the most difficult part. And that's where I'm struggling now, learning to pass the responsibility. Somebody else can do it, you know, that kind of thing. Can't grow if you don't, so it's tough. It is tough because in my head, I got a million things going. I'm going to do this, I'm going to hit that, and people around me are like, slow down, just do this. And it's like, no, I can get it all done in 3 months. Mind you, I can get it all done. So just kind of prioritizing. That's my biggest thing, prioritizing and remembering why I'm doing it. Is this a social media thing, or is this something solid that I really want to stand behind and put the energy into? So just fine-tuning what's important. I do a lot of writing it down, what's important, knocking that out, and just going down a list. Without it, I'm all over the place. So just trying to stay clear of the wonderland of it all and focus what's important. What do I need to do today as opposed to next week or whatever? So take your time. You don't have to have this built tomorrow. Take your time and learn it. Me, I was so rushed about it because on my back was the threat of going back to corporate America, and that wasn't happening. It was not happening. So everything I was doing, I felt like I was running. And someone telling me, slow down, build a team. You know, you don't have to do it all yourself, build a team. That would have been helpful. That would have been very helpful. The misconception I think people have about me is that I'm always on my phone, that it's always within 2 inches of me, and it's not. Most times it's in my purse, in another room, just because I deal with it so much when I am working, that when I'm not working, it's probably not even charged. I have to create that boundary. Otherwise, I'm forever doing this and nothing else gets done. So, a business like mine is so important and so necessary in the community because it teaches women that our hair does not have to be silky smooth for us to be fine. And I appreciate that. I came into a salon suite in October of 2017. So it'll be 2 years this coming October. The strategy for that is stay current, pay attention to trends and what's going on as far as hairstyling and things like that, and working on just having a focus. What's your main focus? And my focus is locks. I don't touch anything else. I have no desire to. That's my focus. And the market is busy enough for me to stay in that focus and be fine. So find a niche and stick it out. Educate yourself on the industry you're going in. Figure out what your clientele is, who you're marketing to. If you're not marketing to somebody, you can't catch everybody. So figure out who you're marketing to, who you want to deal with every day, basically. And that will narrow it down for you, and your marketing will start to look like the people you're trying to pull in. So just be clear on who your market is. Everybody can't be your market. You have to have Wi-Fi everywhere you go, whether you have your own personal hotspot, you have to have Wi-Fi, some kind of connection outside of your phone. If that phone dies, you're in trouble. And a portable charger, you gotta have that. Because it's your connection. It is your connection to clients. It's your connection to potential clients. Your connection to past clients to get feedback, to share new information. You have to be able to connect other than banking on walk-up or banking on physical contact. You have to be able to connect to people. Thankfully, a lot of it is word of mouth. I have some really dope clients, and they are not afraid to share and text and screenshot, and I appreciate that. Word of mouth is a big part, and social media. People want to see pictures. You can be the baddest thing, but if you ain't got no picture, don't nobody care. So, Instagram. I love Instagram. I really do. What set my business apart would be that I get to have genuine conversations with everyone. I pull everyone I meet in. I want to know about you, your family. I'm ready to build a rapport because you chose to come see me. You know, let's talk. Who are you? You're not another number. I know a lot about most of my clients, like your kids, your family. I know your background stuff. So being able to just build a rapport and build a relationship beyond hair, I can appreciate that. And that's what makes it different. I think a lot of times Black-owned businesses, yeah, we all have room for improvement, but I don't think we get the same grace that other companies get. If another company by another person, anyone, they do you wrong, you'll give them another shot and it's gone unsaid, as opposed to a Black-owned business. Now you're hitting it to social media, you're telling all your friends, as opposed to getting back to the business owner and saying, hey, you did X, Y, Z, and I didn't appreciate it. Now we can talk about fixing it, or maybe I can explain why I did it that way. But I just don't think we get the same grace. Stigmas, we got room for improvement. We do, and that's just the honesty of it all. We definitely can get in our bag about it and feel like, hey, I'm running this. And it's like, nah, it looked good, sis, but you need to pull it back a little bit. So just being honest and being open to criticism. Being open to criticism, I think that'll take us a long way. And fixing it when they actually criticize you on it. I have some older clients that will just flat out tell me, no, that ain't it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Miss Gigi will let me know. That ain't it, sis. Black people can work together. We absolutely can. I see it every single day. And because I'm in the midst of it, I didn't realize all these people are Black and we can work together. We absolutely can, and we do amazing work together. The salon suites that I work in now, we do amazing work together. And it works. There's no caddy. No one has thrown a drink in my face yet. So to find out that we actually can work together and do amazing things, that was my eye-opener. Like no one of any other shade had to be involved in this. And that's beautiful. I'm still so early in the game that I haven't had the big challenges that I'm looking forward to. I know that my comfort zone is on the other side of those, so I ain't tripping. I'm ready for it, but I'm pacing myself, so I'm okay right now. I'm okay. I feel like right now we are so supportive of each other. We want to support anything we doing. You selling eyeglasses, I'm coming to buy them just because you sell. So challenges as a woman, I think this is probably the best time to be a black woman. It really is. Between this social media and just the support system that we have generated over the last couple of years with this movement, no challenges outside of ones that I put on myself. And not being honest about what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, that kind of thing. But this is a great time. I've never felt like it wasn't going to make it because my thought was, well, then I'm just going to have to work 5 days a week or 6 or whatever. I'm just going to do what I got to do because I was willing to do that for somebody else. I was willing to do overtime. I was willing to come in when I was off. So I'm willing to do it for mine. And if their business didn't crumble and I was helping them, I ain't going nowhere. Let's do it. Let's do it. I would say if you are on the fence, you have something that your heart enjoys, jump. Jump. If you don't die, you made it. Jump. Jump. And the jobs aren't going anywhere, so you can always go back and regroup. Just jump. You'll never know if you don't try. You'll never know.